Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 27 of Crypto Waffle. This time we shall have hopefully zero blackouts and zero dongles dying, as I am in some fancy little office thing at this residence place at the moment. So it should be uninterrupted. No frogs, no bats. Topics for today. Topic 1, bulls are back in charge, Bitcoin's breakout and what it means for the market momentum. Topic 2, meme coin mania, degens have returned, what's pumping and what you need to watch. Topic 3, the liquidity wave, what central banks are signaling and why it matters for your bags. So last week, obviously, we were saying the bulls are back in town. I think it's safe to say they are still in town. And the bulls continue to charge. What's been catching your attention over the last week?
Right, so two things. First of all, as we said off air just now, I sold my Ethereum the day before Ethereum started charging. And it's at 25 now, 2,500 now. But a lot of the projects that I really liked, having said that, I've literally just looked now. A lot of the projects that I really liked have not recovered nearly to where they were. So I do think we still have quite a ways to go, especially in the alts, before we can say the bulls are back. I think we've got Bitcoin leading the way and giving us maybe a full sense of how much we've moved. The move hasn't, I'm not seeing it that much in my portfolio. Having said that, Pippin's up 90% today, which will help. But overall, projects I'm watching, AI16Z, obviously they've got their launch pad, and SPX, as I think that will move first. Away from that, I'm not really positioning myself that much yet. Although I should be. Now is the time I should be, but it's difficult because.
Well, I mean, we are actually very different, aren't we? So whereas you're kind of not positioned, I have already been positioned for months, and are still positioned, and have seen significant gains in portfolio value over the last couple of weeks. So it just goes to show that everyone has their kind of different route as well. So if you are oh my God, I've missed the train. Don't feel like you have, because you haven't. It's still very early days, as Crypto C was just saying. He's also still waiting as well.
Well, it's risk profile.
Yes, indeed.
So your risk profile is higher than mine. So you're going to catch more upside. But if we get a correction back to 80, you're going to feel it more than I will.
Yeah,
so
indeed.
I don't think we're at a point where we're both agreed we're at the start of the blow off top, but I am coming closer to your way of thinking than I guess you are to mine as we move up. The markets are kind of stabilizing. There's no significant reasons to expect big things to fall.
I mean, I think
the Fed,
as we go into the charts, obviously, because to be fair, all three of these topics kind of are one big topic, because we've seen left, right, and centre AI stuff starting to pick up. We've seen meme coins starting to run, like Moodang this morning, 130%, like in a day. And you're seeing these ones that I think people, quite frankly, forgot about, the likes of SPX. GIGA is one I'm watching at the minute. So for anyone that doesn't know, I'm going to attempt to share my chart now for everyone, because I would like to drop everyone a bit of alpha in here. So I have been watching GIGA over the last couple of days. I'll quickly get rid of that. And this is one I am actually... Oh, what's going on there? Can you see my chart all right?
Yeah.
There we go.
See it fine.
So this is GIGA, okay? We have this ascending triangle with a flat top here, and we have had the breakout. Okay, the target area for this breakout of Giga is around to the 6 cents area again, which from where we are, if we do reach target, that is around 115%. I'm playing this spot. I'm using no leverage. I've just bought a big bag of it, looking to sell at certain levels, effectively on the way up. Because a lot of these have already run. I've talked about SPX before. I've talked about this inverse head and shoulders, and I've said SPX will do a fart. It's doing it right in front of our eyes. This is fart coin. It's still doing its thing. Yes, we could go up, and we should go to around that target 209 to complete that inverse head and shoulders. As we said, SPX is now doing that same thing. It's doing a fart, and it is going towards that head and shoulders target around that 130-ish area. So
that one, SPX, was easy money, by the way. Easy
it was.
money.
And I think it will continue to be easy money, quite frankly. So as we said a minute ago, Mooding has also moved. Pepe has also moved. If anyone hasn't seen, as you can see here, Pepe, lovely double bottom here. Bang. Double bottom target has been reached, and it's actually going to go beyond. Whiff, also absolutely flying. Everyone thought Whiff was dead. Okay, that's not over till the fat lady sings. And Giga is one of those ones that has built a name of itself, but it hasn't had those moves like we've seen in the others yet. Yes, we've seen acute, what's this, 72% from the lows. But if you're going to measure the likes of SPX, FAR, Pepe, Whiff, from the lows, you're talking probably closer to 2 to 3x. We're also seeing the likes of Simon's Cat start to move as well. Like, there is loads of these memes starting to pick back up. MIGGLES has performed lovely from its head and shoulders bottom. Head and shoulders is playing out, still targeted 7 cents. A SHIB is another one I'd like to show you guys. Hasn't really moved. There's the head and shoulders bottom. There it is there. Target is around 2223. So from current price, still has a bit of move to go. And Doge, even that was moving yesterday. As you can see here, it's pretty much completed its head and shoulders bottom already. So a lot of these things are moving, and are moving pretty well. And then, as we were mentioning a minute ago, we were also talking about the AI coins. So if we look at AI16Z, you can see here we have this lovely falling wedge, a nice clean breakout. And remember, we were talking about this bid bot for ages, like literally months. We only spent a short amount of time in and below it before we've now just ripped higher. And if you manage to get in at a sensible level in this bid box, call it 14 cents, you're up a tasty 175% at the moment. But yeah, don't feel like, I think you still have a lot of time. I don't think you have missed any of the trains. We're just seeing these high beta things fly, effectively.
I don't know. As we've looked at those charts live on, I am changing my opinion. We have been saying for months, we are going to wait for these memes to move. That's the go signal. We have been saying it for months, and the memes have now moved. I think they've started their move. Now, I think this move could be violent. That they just go, like how Doge went the last 2 cycles, and that could be the start. I think
we're in that window. And Joe, we talked about that thing on Doge. So if I throw the Doge chart back up quickly, you will see that Doge is starting to break out of that third triangle that we have talked about. So if I go out to the monthly, and I get rid of this horrible cup and handle pattern, you see this third triangle here? We are just poking our heads above. Now, if you go back to previous cycles, so Doge here did its move between November and April. So what's that? November, December, January, February, March, April. 5-month window. Back here, Doge did 1, 2, 3 months. It did pretty much most of it move. Then we had a 4 or 5 month sell-off, and then another 2 months. So Doge historically does its moves in probably around a 3 to 6 month window, I think it's safe to say. I think we are in that 3 to 6 month window for Doge to start going bang, like up. And you've also got to forget, like when we went over, don't forget, sorry, is when we went over the Bitcoin chart, so not too long ago, so I get a tidier one here, this one here. And if I overlay global liquidity, okay, well, I don't know what's happened to that. That's just gone absolute peak top. But anyway,
I can see it.
I'll
I'll
use one of these charts instead because they're better. But if you look at global liquidity and overlay it with Bitcoin, can you see this all right? This is showing us that Bitcoin should be at around that 140 to call it 160-ish area, probably by the end of Q2, early Q3-ish. And that is literally a straight up line. That's no, oh my God, there's a massive sell-off in the middle. That is up and to the right. So I think any dips from now on, obviously not to scare anyone. Yes, there will still be parts to get in, but I don't think there's not going to be none of these 70% drops, I think, from here. I mean, there could be in these high beta memes, there could. But Bitcoin,
not to scare me.
yeah, Bitcoin, I don't think there will be. I think you could see another maybe 10, 20%, if that. And I think we just keep climbing. ETH has awoken, as you mentioned at the start. That's starting to rip face again. Everyone going, oh my God, ETH's not dead. Did you see it? It's over from 1,600 to 2K in a day. And you're like, yeah. And then,
but it's the thing is, what I think is that the reason why I think there is still time.
There's still time.
Is because it's still only 2.5K. Still only 2,500. So it's still not in a great shape considering where it should be. But the truth of the matter is, I'm supposed to be buying now when I can see we're about to, or at least we know the bottom is in. I think we know the bottom is in.
Oh yes, I would say the bottom is definitely in. And I mean, as you know, I was saying that the greatest risk to most people here is not being in. Like, it's all well and good saying, oh, I don't think the bottom's in, blah, blah, blah. Like, the greatest risk for your average investor over the last, 2 years, quite frankly, has been you not having a position. Because everyone always got bearish at the lows, which they did here, thinking, oh my God, we're going to those 60s, high 60s, whatever it is. And we even talked about it. Yes, there's a possibility. But why even wait for it? Just go in at 75, 78, 80, whatever it is. That is cheap when you look into the future. But for those people that are looking for lower prices, so in this chart there, this chart here, which is the NASDAQ. So this is using what they call a DMARC indicator. Now, when you see these triple arrows effectively on top, it's a sell signal. And you can see kind of when they work. They typically work when you have like a 913, 913 top. So you can see here, 13 is like the strongest you can get. 9 is reasonably strong. Higher the number, the stronger the reason to drop effectively. This also works at bottom momentum as well. I'm not sure if there's an indicator on these. No, there's not. But you can see here that, so this is from Real Vision's latest MIT report, as you can tell. And he is suggesting in the short term, we do potentially have a drop. And there is a 9 top here as indicated in the NASDAQ. Now, obviously, if the NASDAQ, obviously the markets haven't opened yet, it's still early doors on a Monday. Here it's the evening and it feels like they should be open, but it's not. But if the NASDAQ does dump, I would expect crypto to dump. And if you guys have been watching me in my free channel, you know I've been talking about this same exact thing. And I brought this up probably a couple of weeks back. So before actually anyone else was kind of talking about it, I said, well, you know what would be nice here? A head and shoulders bottom in the S&P. And that head and shoulders bottom, if we are to roll over here today or this week or next week, whenever it is, could definitely set the S&P up to round to 6.6. And that's effectively what they're showing in here. They're showing that right shoulder to form. So that would be left shoulder. That would be our head. This would be our right shoulder. Bang. That, I think, is then the blow off. Like that move from that right shoulder, that should be the blow off top. And if you are of the opinion that we go higher, you are looking to buy crypto and stocks on that down leg there, if we get it, because there is a way in this world where we don't get this right shoulder and we could just rip. quite frankly. That would be the worst case scenario for people sitting on the side. But I think if we get that down leg, that is your entry point.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree. I think I think it's one thing to have our insight or our opinions. It's another thing to execute as they're happening. And I think that's the most important part, is that now that we are seeing our ideas play out, we've also said second half of the year should be when things take back up. We said that maybe after about 2 months into this year and everybody had been slaughtered, we were saying, all right, H2, H2. H2 is now in 3 weeks. So we are pretty much there.
Yeah, we're there, and obviously we're seeing prices a hell of a lot higher than where we've been. I mean, we're at the point again where people's portfolios. I mean, so I know some of my clients, they've started to do salaries in a week again, and you know when you start to see people's yearly salaries going a week that it's getting kind of overheated, and you kind of.
Well, no, I think not yearly salaries in a week. It's when random people message me. When random people message me, that is the sale time. You know, like I met a guy on a mate of mine's stag 4 years ago, and he messaged me like January the 3rd or something, and he was like, hey, this Bitcoin stuff, I want to put some money in, can we have a chat, blah blah. And I didn't have his number saved. I should have sold everything that day, because that was the absolute top signal. And
no, I'm talking like a local top,
until
like short term, that could be the right shoulder that we have come down before the next move.
Yeah.
Because there will be one final, there always kind of is, I believe, and I'm of the opinion that there will be a final shakeout. It's just how big that shakeout is. Because I think as people...
Those shakeouts, they seem to be smaller now, or if they're deep, they're shorter.
I think it'll be short and sharp. And it might not be really big, but it'll be enough just to scare people thinking, hang on a minute, this could just be a higher low, and then re-roll over. Yeah. And that's where you'll just get people panic in their emotions and go bang, bang, and be like, oh my God, I'm going to get out. And the next thing you know, 400% whiff.
So is there an argument to say that we have had that in the first 6 months of this year, where we've had a brutal drawdown, especially in altcoins? We had a brutal drawdown, which shook a lot of people out.
Do you remember that AAI Bulls Bears Index that we looked at a while back? And it was like the bearish it had ever been since like 2020, COVID. That was the sentiment indicator. They were the sentiment indicators to tell us, okay, everybody's out that needs to be out. Because, I mean, why is everybody panicking like the world's about to shut down over some Trump tariffs? Like, come on. But yet everybody was shit scared. And even now, we've been seeing over the last week, there's a record high in, I think, retail buying stocks. There's a lot of institutions that still haven't bought and that are still on the side. And unfortunately, they're going to have to bite that bullet and probably buy higher. And then that causes that causes a cascading effect of, oh my God, it's going, and then everybody comes in, and this is where we get that complete blow off top.
What they say is, I think it was the first time I ever heard Charles Hoskinson speak in person, the one of the Cardano guys, and he had said, this was way before Cardano, and he'd said, the thing with Bitcoin is, when you're selling, when it's going down, nobody's buying and everybody's selling, so the price is going down. That's why the price goes down so much, because nobody's buying. When it starts to go up, nobody's selling. So even when you're trying to get your hands on these assets, liquidity is hella thin, because the buy side, nobody wants to sell. So you're just flinging the price up. And I think that's what we will see.
I think that's what we've seen over the last couple of days, to be honest.
Yeah, but now we've got institutional money coming in with this ETFs now, a lot more people can get their hands on
Yeah,
Bitcoin. And when the price does start to move, that is when these people are
yeah,
activated
indeed,
to buy. That's when they are motivated to
definitely.
buy. So I think this will be an interesting second half of the bull
Yeah.
run, and then an even more interesting bear market to follow. Because I think in that bear market, I think people will
So
really
what
lose
about
their heads.
timing wise? Where are you thinking this year slash next year that we see the top? Do you think we will have another pump after summer and go into the Santa rally blow off, kind of like we've done in previous cycles in that Q4 window?
I think so.
Or do you think it will be
Yeah, I think
earlier?
so. I think so. I think we have a blow off, and I think that a lot of people try to predict the end of it because so many people have got caught with their pants down at the end of a bull run where they're like, oh, this time it's different. And then FTX, or this time it's different. And then some other thing. And then we come down and we collapse. China bans Bitcoin or whatever. So I think this time people will try to preempt that because there's a lot of people now for whom this is their fourth
Yeah.
cycle. And those people are going to try to preempt it. They're going to try and be cute and sell in November. Like I'm one of them. I'm going to try and be cute and sell in November. But every single bull market has lasted longer than the previous one. So if that holds true, which, you know, like you say, the trend is your friend until it isn't. But if that does hold true, this bull market lasts until Q2 of next
Yeah.
year.
I mean, if you listen to the likes
So
of Rail Power and some other people, they have talked about this potentially extending into Q1 26. And if you
yeah,
look at the liquidity going forward, I mean, it looks like we've seen a peak in liquidity going out to about the 5th of July, and we've seen a pullback coming into like the 26th at the moment. So that's like a local top in that. But the more I listen to people and the more the market does its things, I can see this slightly extending because I think we had such a drawn out
yeah,
summer last year. And everyone seems to forget that we've been in a bull market since 2023 now. Like everyone goes, oh, when's the bull market starting? I'm like, have you not seen anything that's happened over the last 2 years? Bitcoin has literally gone from $15,000 to 110, and you're telling me we haven't had a bull market. You were clearly just holding alts that whole time.
Well, I think the problem always is if if it's not charging and it's not raging, it's not a bull. It's just a
Yeah,
cow. And no one talks about a cow market. So for us, a bull market has to start and end in 6 months. That's a bull market. It has to be boom. It has to charge through. And what we've had has not felt like
no,
that. But you're
it's a
absolutely
very
right.
long,
Like we
drawn
haven't had
out process,
extended.
isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, but that's what I said. Everyone's longer, but then with that length becomes less
Yeah,
impact, and I think that's what people are feeling. Because I don't. You're right. I don't feel like we've had our bull market yet. But I was here at
yeah,
15, and now I'm here at 100. So what's my
yeah.
problem?
I think it depends what you
Obviously,
hold, really,
Ethereum
doesn't it?
because it
Yeah,
hasn't moved.
it
You what?
ultimately
Sorry.
depends on what you hold. If you've been holding the stuff that hasn't moved, then
Yeah,
again, like you just say, you don't feel like you participated in the bull market.
yeah. I held Ethereum. I wasted my time. I might as well have not
Well,
bothered.
I held some, but I swapped all of my. I'd sold it at, was it 2,185 before we dropped to 1.6, and then managed to buy Link with it at like 11, $12. So I managed to get a decent entry on that with it. But then again, it all depends what you hold. And I think a lot of people forget, like when you say, oh, what do you like? Oh, I'm into crypto. They're like, oh my God, like this, that, and the other. And you're like, well, most of the time, to be honest, I just don't do much. Like last summer, seven
Right.
months,
So
a seven
I tell
month
you
window of doing jack.
something. Something I have to point out in what you said there is a nuanced point which people won't realize what you've done. So what you've done is you've sold your Ethereum and you've bought your Link. So effectively, you've not sold
No, I'm
your
still playing
Ethereum. What
Ethereum,
you've
just
done
buy
is you've
something on
kind
the
of,
chain.
Yeah, so you've kind of doubled
Yeah.
down on your Ethereum. You've doubled down. Now, what I should have done last week, which I kind of done but didn't, is if I sold my Ethereum, I should have bought Pepe.
Or anything on
So
ETH, to be
it
honest. It could
should
have been
be,
anything. Yeah.
or anything on ETH.
It
Yeah,
could have been
or
SPX.
anything on ETH. Yeah.
It could have been Link. It could have
Well,
been loads of stuff.
see, I see SPX as Solana, but I think that's one of those. I think that's one of those points that is interesting about the way both you and I both see things. Is that even when things aren't going right and you decide to move your position, sometimes it's good, especially when we're in a bull market, to move to a
Yeah.
leveraged play on
I mean,
that same chain. I think that was quite
I
a
know I've been
move.
banging that MIGGLES drum for a while, and I can't tell you how nice it has been to see MIGGLES from the bottom to where we are now be up about 180%. It's very nice indeed. And
Yeah,
also syrup. I mean, I've mentioned this a couple of times. I've managed to get some people in on it from very low of 8 cents to where we are now. We're up over 200%. So it's nice to see some of this stuff move. And thankfully, the majority of my bags have been moving over this last couple of weeks.
let's talk about something.
Go for it.
What what happened with Wagyu Cash
Right.
over the
From
weekend?
what I understand, and now I put a thing into the free Telegram, and now I personally didn't participate because at the time I was ill with dengue fever. I had a banging headache, and quite frankly, I couldn't be asked. I was like, this is the last thing I want to be dealing with. So I give my funds to my brother. He set it up with Trojan bot. Anyway, Wagyu Cash, I believe, have been uh, missold themselves to the public. Okay, now my brother mentioned this in the Telegram group. He goes, wasn't much of a fair launch because apparently by the time they actually sent out the contract address into the Telegram, obviously when a new coin comes out and you're following the build up sort of thing, the hype gets to it. Everyone's waiting for that CA drop, like everybody. And you're not going to take a random CA or a coin that you might think that is it, just in case it's not, because there was like five, six, seven
Mhm.
other Wagyus on deck screener at the time, and it could have been any one of them. So they were all waiting sensibly for the CA. Now, by the time the CA had dropped, apparently the coin had already been out for 4 hours. So it had already gone up to like 70, 80 mil market cap, something silly, and then completely dropped. So I'll get a chart of it up now, actually, so everyone can see.
Yeah, I was just trying to do that,
So
but I was hoping you had one.
I have, and I will openly admit, I have lost funds on this.
Oh, did you get
Oh, we
in? I
are
missed
in,
it. When
and
I
we are
first saw
down. Um, where are you?
that must be the 5.8.
It was like 20 something earlier today. There it is. This is it, I believe.
Okay.
So
Up 44% over the last 24
yeah, so I
hours.
mean, so on the day of launch, so we go to the 15-minute chart. Not that this is really what you want to look
Yeah.
at, but we had this absolute bloody god candle. So you can see it came out at what 1 o'clock my time on the 25th. So I don't know what that would have been for you guys, but we obviously had this mini pump dump. This is where I believe obviously all the founders and other people that are actually in got it. And I mean, as far as I'm aware, unfortunately for Ninja, he got fucked as well. Um, I know he did say this is either going to be his biggest public, um, what's it, his biggest public fuck up or his biggest public win, effectively. So he hasn't actually come out and said anything yet. So I'll leave that for him to come and do. But yeah, Wagyu come out. It doesn't sound like it was a very fair drop. Um, I believe we got in at like I want to say 70 mil market cap, which is pretty high. Had I been awake, would I choose to have gone in there? Probably not, but I couldn't be asked. So we got in where we got in, and who cares? We know that was the aim of the risk of the game anyway. And I said, quite frankly, when we got to this like 17 mil market cap area, I said, well, Chart doesn't look too bad. It looks quite constructive. Since we've come up, we're forming nice little ball flags, moving again. We've come up, little dump, formed a nice big bear flag. We probably come down to around here, 0.021, then before making maybe another high. But I do think this will continue. And as far as I'm aware, or as far as I really care, quite frankly, because it's a very small part of my portfolio, is that I'm happy just to let the rest go to either the moon or the ground. It either works or it doesn't. We're in, we knew the risks we were playing. Unfortunately, it didn't seem like it was a fair launch, even though they were saying that the more referrals you get, the earlier you get the contract, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I didn't get the contract till 6 hours after the coin had come out, and I had like 15 referrals, or whatever it was. So they actually put the referral, the CA out in the Telegram before I got it in an email, which as I thought kind of ruined the aspect of, okay, well, if you get over 10 sign-ups, you get the contract just a bit earlier. But anyway, not my coin. Do I really care? No. Unfortunately, myself and quite a lot of others that I know have lost some money on it. But do we really care? No, because portfolios have more than covered that over the last couple of weeks.
It's a difficult one for Ninja, but it's a part of the game of meme coins, isn't it? It's that, unfortunately for him, he had the honesty to put his name to it.
Indeed.
Whoever the people are who sold the token and gave the God candle to that, because I bet you that God candle was one or two buyers.
Oh, yeah.
Gave the right to give those one or two buyers that God candle and let them go and do that, and now they've
walked away with millions.
It's a tough one.
I mean, I think it peaked out just on this chart here. It peaked out at a market cap of 120 million, and we're now down at 25.
25 is not bad for a new coin. So
and
even
although they have still launched in a good time, there's still obviously a lot of liquidity around it. Stuff's moving, and it wouldn't surprise me if it does continue to move. Quite frankly, as long as the broader market moves.
Ninja's probably made a couple of quid.
I don't know. I don't think he did, unfortunately. From what I hear, I don't think he has. Unless he maybe doubled down when we were like 17 mil, but.
So you don't think he would have got the contract, even himself?
From what I understand, I don't think he got it early. Which I think is a bit. I mean, I think that I'd be a bit disappointed if you put all that work in for a team, and you don't even get the contract just slightly earlier than everybody else. You kind of think, well, what's the fucking point of all my work?
And who are the team?
I don't really know.
So he is the front line.
Yeah, well, he's put his IQ, like you said, he's put his personal opinion on the line, and in good faith, and putting his name with the coin as well. Obviously, it hasn't worked out too well. It'd be nice to hear what he wants to say about it. But then again, I'm not going to cry over spilt milk, if that makes sense, because it's just another meme coin in my eyes.
I get it, but I think some people will cry over spilt milk, and rightfully so.
Yes and no. But like, if you're going to dabble with a new meme, you know that basically you're throwing money in the bin. Like, come on. You know full well the likes of you actually hitting that 30, 10, 15x is highly unlikely. Like, highly unlikely. And I was saying to all clients, like in free and people that asked, I said, right, well, if Wagyu does a 3x, I'm taking originals out. A 3x, not 30, 3. I want my originals out, and at every X after that, I was trimming 10 or 20% off. That was the plan. And it didn't even get initiated because it didn't even happen. And
well, you knew it wasn't going to happen when you bought.
Well, I was asleep, wasn't I?
You know,
so I actually didn't know what was going on anyway. And I passed caring, quite frankly, what was going on. But I was prepared to lose what I put in. And when you're investing in new things, you should never put in more than you can afford to lose. So quite frankly, if people are crying about this, you put in too much. Now learn from this, and next time put in a little bit less, because you should kind of have the
I tell
opinion
you,
like I am, where it's okay, it's water under the bridge, money's gone, that's it, move on.
I tell you what you should do. About a year ago, we launched a meme coin called Sunak. Now that was a
Yeah,
fair
that was a fair
launch.
launch.
That went out. Everybody got the thing at the same
Yeah,
time. Everybody that was a perfectly fair launch. Everybody got the thing at the same time. It went up. The people who bought it first dumped it first, came back down,
I think that was
and
the
it
only
died.
fair
Like
launch
no
I
one.
have ever participated in, quite frankly.
Yeah, yeah, and it
Yeah,
went nowhere. However, the thing now is that meme has been doing nothing for
yeah,
over a year. Been doing nothing for over a year. Now I buy it little bits here and there, like because
yeah.
why not? Because one day I can talk about it on the show and be like, "There's a meme coin out there that I know for a fact was fair launched. I know for a fact was fair launched, and I also know for a fact that the largest holders of it are not like worrisome people
Yeah.
who might
I mean, I've
dump it
still
on
got all
other
my
people's
Sunacs.
heads.
I never sold anything.
Yeah.
Me and
So
all the
what?
people that I know still have it.
So what we need to start doing now is start pushing the Sunak
Pump our
brand
bags.
as pump those bags for us. Come and pump our meme because I think Sunak I think the Sunak meme market cap is like 10K
Yeah,
something like
something
that.
tiny.
But the liquidity is
Yeah.
tiny, so if you try to buy too much of it, like you'll smash it up. But I think those are more worthwhile than the new
Yeah.
tokens. I prefer a token that's been out and already failed
And then something that
than
hasn't
the
failed.
chances of
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Agreed.
yeah, than the chances of something that is new. Another thing that I want to move on to before we go into our predictions and whatnot. Unless we do
Yeah, I want to
liquidity.
do liquidity
Do you want
quickly.
to do liquidity?
Do
All
you want
right,
me to do
let's do
that
liquidity
first?
then, and then I'll do mine. Yeah. Because mine's only going to be like a small obituary for a guy who. Well, we'll talk
Right,
about
so
it in a
can we
bit.
see my screen?
Yeah.
So this is the latest liquidity metrics, obviously in that MIT report that I spoke about earlier. As you can see, we have started to see a tick up, which is what we want to see. If this continues, we expect this to expand quite drastically. If I then go down to some of these other charts, so this is a global M2 in the 2016 to 2018 period in white and global M2 today, and you can see the correlation of that. It has kind of followed it, but been more vertical this time around. Here's that good old chart that we always look at, which is the breakout, retest, continuation, breakout, retest, continuation. What have we just done? Breakout, retested. Where are we now? In the continuation phase. So it will just be monitoring liquidity to see where we look to put in the top. Here is the Bitcoin chart, obviously overlaid with that. So you can see every time we have these breakouts in liquidity within Bitcoin, which are these white lines, what normally happens to the price next? Substantial higher highs, and we're in that now. So here's that tiny little sell-off that we've just had from 110 to 74 that everyone was shitting the bed about. Obviously, not to say that it's over yet. We need to make a fresh all-time high. So could we still be in a bear? Yeah, I think it's a small chance, but highly unlikely.
What was our previous all time high?
Is it 110?
I don't even
Let me have a
remember.
look quickly. High 109,354.
Okay.
So we need to put in a new high, quite frankly, to say, okay, yeah, bull market's still intact. So continuing on, this is rather laggy.
No, it's fine.
I would like to show this chart finally again, which is kind of what we showed earlier. And this just shows effectively that Bitcoin should be around that 140 to 160K by the end of Q2 / early Q3. And for you guys that are at home, if you do have TradingView and you come onto TradingView, you can look at your own China M2 money supply, Euro M2 money supply, and US M2 money supply. And they all come out monthly data points. We can now see that US M2 is at all-time highs, and from the start of this year, which is this point in here, the US M2 is up approximately 1%. Euro M2, we can see from the 1st of Jan, it's up approximately 0.5%, and China M2 since the 1st of Jan, where are we here, is up approximately 2.25%. But what we want to see is obviously continued growth in Chinese M2, Euro M2, and US M2. The most substantial one, and the one we are most interested in here, is of course US M2, because it is the world reserve currency. That at new all-time highs is what we want to see. Now we just need to see some follow through effectively in this for the bull market to continue, which I am of the opinion we shall.
Almost certainly. I think you can give yourself a pat on the back as, oh, he's gone. Is that, right, okay. All right. Oh, did you just kick them out? I think you might have just kicked them out. Oh, they plugged in still. Oh, he's gone. All right, okay. So it's just me. Shall I do the bit I wanted to do before? I will. So this is quite an interesting. Do you know what I want to wait for him to come back because I want to tell him the story. All right, I'll tell you that instead. Okay, so let's go and look for.
Apologies.
Oh, you're back.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can.
Apologies. Carry on.
Right. As long as you can hear me, I'm going to tell the story. Here is the story of Jeffy Yu, spelled YU. Now, Jeffy Yu is the creator of Zerebro. Zerebro became a very well-known and loved and profitable meme coin. It was the one where it used AI to create, I believe it created its own album of music and this, that, and the other. So it was a really, really good project. Now, last week, the creator of Zerebro, he made a video where he committed suicide. Well, unalived himself. Don't know what I can say or not say on the thing, but he unalived himself on the this video. Right. And everybody was really sad. Like, even I was really sad. Like, I put out, like, RIP, this guy, blah, blah, blah. Everybody was like, oh, this industry's so bad. Look what you've pushed this guy to do, blah, 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 this, right, that, and the other. Now, I was expecting Zerebro to have a pump on him having passed away.
Why?
But it didn't. Just because he was the main guy behind it. He was almost like
If he's just supposedly died, I would have thought it dumps hard.
No. I don't know why. I don't know, actually. Yeah, that's a good point. But I was expecting it to pump. And I guess maybe just as many people were expecting it to dump. So it done nothing. I guess a lot of people probably bought and a lot of people probably sold. And they kept it even. But it turns out that he faked the whole thing for bans for whatever reason. And now obviously Twitter's now going mad saying that we need to jail this guy because
It's crazy.
yeah.
Why would you do that? It doesn't make no sense.
So here you can see, so here's when the news first broke last week. And this guy said, just read the heartbreaking news about Jeffy, 22-year-old Zerebro founder, 800 million project and couldn't handle the pressure. Because, yeah, they're like, devs, do something. And then obviously it turns out that he was found, where we are. Well, according to, oh no, Hindustan Times, that's a terrible source. But, right, here we go.
So is the token still remained?
The token, let's see. I reckon it would have done well because this would generate mindshare.
Yeah, that's true.
So how's the token done? This generates mindshare. So over the last 7 days, yeah, you're right. There was when he went was the 6th. So there was the dump, which was maybe 30%, but that was into an upwards market. So that was a decent amount of dump. But since then, it has climbed and climbed and climbed. And I think this shenanigans has only increased the mindshare. People will be talking about it now.
Right.
But yeah, he got caught on his parents' driveway, doxed in flip-flops, and yes, he is alive.
Wearing his sandals.
So Bubble Mats revealed that he moved 1.4 million in crypto assets after his supposed passing away.
I didn't even know this happened, to be honest.
You're not spending enough time on the depths of Twitter. That's your problem.
I don't like
Too busy
time on the depths of Twitter.
Too busy living life and being happy. You need to stop that. You need to stop that. So, okay. So one of his addresses was dumping Zerebro. Oh, wow.
So he was trying to get out.
Yeah, but he pretended that he had died so that he could sell his tokens without getting any grief.
Yeah, clearly backfired, isn't it?
Welcome to crypto, ladies and gentlemen. This is the type of things that these guys do. So yeah, so I thought that was an interesting little story that happened last week where a guy's pretending to be dead. I didn't know he had done it so that he could quietly rug his own project.
So let's have a recap. Unfortunately, last week we didn't do the trades because of connection issues and blackouts.
No.
Or did we?
No, we didn't do the trades, but I did do predictions.
Right, okay.
And what I done was I done predictions on your behalf.
Okay.
Because you weren't there to do the predictions for yourself.
Yeah.
And during these predictions, I was the bullish one and you were the bearish one.
Okay.
So I just said, right, instead of us both having our own opinions, I'll just take the bull case and you take the bear case, which means you got everything wrong.
Yeah.
And I got everything right. So I will.
So let me throw up
What should we do? Shall we do our actual predictions from 2 weeks ago first and see how they've held up? Because they're really good. I think this also gives us a good indication of how you can be right.
The ones from 2 weeks ago, I believe.
Yes. So yeah. These are the ones from 2 weeks ago.
Right.
So these are the ones from April.
Them off the screen for some assets. So
I've got them. I've got them all hitting right in here.
Right. So 2 weeks ago. So where were we? That would have been. That was 1 week. So there we were. Oh, where the crosses. Okay. So 2 weeks ago, Bitcoin was at 94k. We were both targeting that 98 and 99. We were in fact correct.
It's so easy when you do 2 weeks.
Yeah, more time.
So easy.
Again, 2 weeks ago, my Siri's just come up on my phone because I thought he was talking to me. That as well has reached our targets, I believe. Mine was the lower boundary, which we had hit over 2 weeks. Did we hit that within a week?
Yeah.
Yes, we did. Get in.
Yeah. So last week when I was doing them, you actually got this one right as well.
Yeah.
So I got this one wrong.
Yeah.
Because I said 4.
Over a 2 week period, we've both nailed.
Yeah.
I got the downside, you got the upside, which is what we were trying to do when we discussed it as well.
No, no. When we said that, Sui was below 320, so you were up, but I was just being mega bull.
Right. Okay. And
You
then
were up, but I was just
SPX. So 2 weeks ago, where were we? That's 1 week. There. Right in here.
right. This one is the perfect example because last week neither of us had got this one right.
No.
So this time last week we both were wrong.
Yeah.
It hadn't reached 75, which you had gone for, and it definitely hadn't reached 80, which I had gone for.
But over the 2 week window, smashed it.
Zoom out, zoom out, and look how smart we are.
Monero. This is one actually I think we got wrong. I think over the 2 week window as well, because we actually were of the opinion it would actually sell off, and it didn't.
No, we got this one right. We both got this one right because it did sell off to our target, but we couldn't.
When
But we
did
couldn't
enter
short it.
here?
No, was that? Yeah. No, we got this. That one we got right. I know we did because I marked it as right. I wouldn't have marked it as right if we didn't.
I think we
I'm
might
not a
have
liar.
got it wrong, you know.
No. Was that 340 now?
Yeah, I think we got it wrong. Yeah, Monero's just been straight up ever since that whale started moving Bitcoin.
No, right. So, did I? Because it. All right. Do you know why I marked it right? It went down to 256.
Ah, right, okay.
So when we went to say about it, I don't know. I think it might have been at about 280 or something like that.
Right. So
Because we were going to short it. We were going to short it on Hyperliquid, and we couldn't.
Thankfully, it's not on there, which saves us some money.
No, because we would have hit.
Oh,
We would have hit our take profits.
Take profit.
Yeah, we would have hit our take
Right,
profits.
okay. Then
Really,
moving
I'll
on
take
to Zano, right? Where was our targets on this? Oh, I still got them here. So 2 weeks ago,
13
we
and
got
12. Yeah.
$10.
Kissed yours.
Yeah, my target was 12 and yours was 13.
Yeah.
Hit my target, didn't quite reach yours. Since then, just rolled over. But
Yeah.
for any of you eagle-eyed chartists that might be watching, we have just broken out of this downsending channel for Zano. So what do you do on this retest? I'll leave it to you to answer.
What do you reckon? Higher lows or off to the races?
You've got to bid that here. If you want to play that game of, okay, we're back in the channel, yeah, you could have a stop loss at like $8. Okay, if we drop to 8, happy days. Like that's where I'd happily get out, which is a 13% downside. Your upside's probably north of 22, which is a minimum 100%. So
Yeah.
to me, you bid that, and from current breakout, you're targeting that $20-ish area
Yeah.
at a minimum. Actually, no, I got this wrong. You'd be drawing that from there to around there. Flagpole it, baby. Yeah, you're looking at about $28.
Now, Zano is a
And you're still not in the damn thing.
no. No. It is what it is. You can't get them all right, even when you know you should buy it.
Yeah.
I've got loads of stories like that. This is just one
Right,
of
so
them.
what are we going to do this week? We'll keep
Let me tell you about what I done last week first
Oh,
before
go
we
on
do
then.
that. So last week, my bullish bets were Bitcoin back to 99. You were bearish, so you were like, meh, meh, meh. I actually done that voice. Meh, 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 meh. So you were bearish, and you said 89, so you were wrong. ETH, I said 2K. You said 1500. You were wrong again.
Yeah.
Obviously, it wasn't actually you. It was me imitating you. Doge, I said 25 cents. You said 12. I think I was right again. You were wrong. AI16Z, I said 32 cents. I was right again. And Fart, I said $1.30.
Right.
So basically, we're now, I think, starting to hit the point where my wild bullish predictions may start to come true.
Yeah.
We're touching that sort of
I think
area
we're in,
of the
we're in
market.
that playground area now, aren't we?
Yeah.
So what do we want to do this week?
We'll obviously
Bitcoin as
start with
always.
Bitcoin. What I think we should start with Bitcoin.
Yeah, start with Bitcoin. Right, so where do you think we're going to go next week? Bear in mind, we are at what I would call our make or break zone. We need to get through this red box. Do we do it on the first attempt? That's the question. And I don't think even pre-market. Okay, we can see the pre-market on some stocks. Where is coin? Let's have a look. Are we up or down? Okay, we're up. Looks like the Nasdaq's probably opening up. Oh, look at that. Do you know Man United, by the way? Sorry to go off tandem here. Head and shoulders bottom, going to 1650, by the way.
Easy money.
Easy money.
Easy money.
Another one that's created
Yeah.
head and shoulders bottom. Not financial advice. MNMD. Stock. High risk, high reward. Left shoulder head, right shoulder. Completes that. We're going to $10. There's enough 100% in a stock. Thank you later. Back to crypto Waffle predictions.
Isn't it refreshing when you can just drop like alpha like that? Yeah, go on, take that and come back to me later. I don't know,
Well, it looks like the Nasdaq's going to open up today. Does it close like up? I don't know.
We've got ground to catch up on, haven't we? I feel like the tariffs
some
thing.
assets have.
Yeah.
So I think even if
they
Bitcoin
want.
was to sell off a bit here, I think all still could be all right.
Yeah. I don't think Bitcoin does sell off though. I think we just go through it.
Yeah.
I think we just go through it because I think we're making up for lost ground. It feels like we're just going up, but I think we're making up for lost ground. I think we were oversold down there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we just go through it.
Quite possibly. I mean, if you
Yeah,
overlay global liquidity, it's maybe indicating a small sell-off soon. Here to back to about 100. And if you're just going to use technicals as a factor, we are at resistance, and it's not going to be an easy nut to crack. So
No, this is the hardest nut, the all-time high one.
We could even
always.
run back up to 110 before we even come back down.
I think that would be the safe bet, but
Because I'm trying to think tactically here for trades, and I'm of the opinion we won't break two first time. We might have to chop around for a bit.
we've had two pretty bullish weeks on the spin. We are trying to push through all-time highs, but I do think that we were oversold. That liquidity map does say that we may pull back. Oh, I don't know. This is a tough one.
I'm gonna go. Depending on kind of what you got, I want to go bearish.
Okay,
I
suits
want
me. I'm going to go bullish.
Okay, that's fine. I want to say that we'll pull back to. Where are we? 102 there. Yeah, I'm going to say 99.
Okay. And we're at 104 at the minute, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to say 112.
112.
New all-time highs.
Holy
I think
crap, man.
I think the FOMO is strong.
Bring it on.
I think the FOMO is strong,
Bring
and
me the
lots of
112. I'll happily.
yeah,
do
lots
that
of
now.
funds left to deploy.
Yeah. So what are we doing next?
Sui? No, did we do Sui last time? We done Sui last time. Oh, do you know what? Shall we do
What else is there in the top 20?
I don't want to do ETH or Sol or Sui because we do those too much. Shall we do Cardano or
Should we do
Do?
Tron?
No. We Yes.
Let's
Sold.
do Tron.
Tron is due, by the way. Everybody else has done double digits over the last week. All of its age mates, as we like to say, all of Tron's age mates have done double digits. Tron has done 8% over the last 7 days.
Hardly moved.
Cardano's done 20, Sol's done 20, ETH's done 40, Sui's done 20, Tron's done 8. Tron is due.
Come on. Why is it being all slow now? What the hell?
I think I'm going to go, I might go 30. I'm going to go 30.
We're banging on that door.
Because it's so big, it can't, yeah.
You know what? I'm going to go even more bullish than you and say 33.
Remember, this is a $25 billion asset, all right?
Yeah, I think that's doable. Yeah, 33.
Crikey.
Can we also do chain link?
Yes, okay. What are we at now? 26.
We haven't done chain link before. So here is the chain link. Now, for any of you eagle-eyed technicians, you may have spotted this masterpiece. You see that, Carl? You see our head and shoulders?
No. Oh, yes.
Boom. Beautiful bit of artwork.
What they say, hang it in the Louvre.
Yeah. And then look at that. $23.50. I would like to put my target at $22, please, sir.
You do realise, I suppose you've said Bitcoin to chop, altcoins to push. You're basically you're saying start of alt season. Alt season starts now.
Yes, all seasons I think already started. If you look at Bitcoin dominance, I mean, I went over this in my video yesterday that I did. That's a rather big sell-off.
Yikes.
I think that, I mean, I'm not going to get too excited until this trend line breaks, but I'm going to play it level by level. If we get through this 62.3% area, next up is this diagonal support. If that doesn't hold, alt season and Doge to $1 will be completed.
Yeah. Okay. I will go. Right. What are we on that link? Let me have a look at my charts, which I've got lots less of drawings on them. I think Link stalls.
I mean, look.
I'm going to say 20.
You've just said that. Look at the line I've drawn. That big one at resistance.
Yeah.
So you could be correct there.
Yeah. I still think it will go up because I think everything goes up.
Okay. Right, and then I would like to pick two memes as usual. Now I'm going to pick one we haven't had before. SHIB.
Oh, okay.
Which I mentioned today. I still think it's due a move. And it opens, it's up 10% in the time we've spoken.
What, today?
Yeah. God's sake.
Was you gonna get it?
If I'm being the trade.
Oh man.
I'm still going. I'm still going to go in. I am FOMOing into the move.
I don't know if Hyperliquid's got. It should have SHIB actually.
Yeah, it should be. It's massive. Right, I'm going to say SHIB to 2140.
2140. And it's at 1740. That's a heck of a move.
What, from here?
Yeah.
That's not that far.
So it's 20-30%.
Let's say 2140. 20%?
Yeah. 20%, yeah.
It's nothing for
Well,
me.
bearing in mind, it's just done 10% already today. And look at that green.
That's what we want to see. Momentum.
Okay. All right. I'll join you.
Where do you think we're going to go?
2140.
Oh, I haven't marked these on the charts, by the way. Christ. So what was our Tron ones, quickly?
Tron was, you said
33
cents. I said 30 cents. Do you know what? I've gone more bullish on Bitcoin and less bullish on everything else.
It's fine.
And you've gone more bullish on everything else.
So I was 33, you were 30. And then for Link, where was I? 22.
Yeah.
And you were
20.
20, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, you're going to be sick when I tell you about our last two trades, how we got tapped out, and the two assets that we got tapped out of on our longs.
What, good or bad?
Bad, terrible.
Oh, no.
We longed Sui. We longed Sui and got tapped out, and we longed SPX and got tapped out.
Son of a gun. This is why I always have wide stop losses when I leverage trade, because you know full well that if you have a tight one, you're gone.
It kissed that we must have had our stop losses kissed, and then both assets have run off because SPX we got tapped out at 51, and Sui we got tapped out at $3.20.
This is why we don't leverage trade a lot, ladies and gentlemen. We just buy spot. It's a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah. Yeah. Leverage trading is trying to get the fall in life. SHIB was same as yours. We were both sitting on the same line.
Are you there?
Did you hear what I said? Yeah, I said it was the same as yours.
What's yours, sorry?
Same as yours, 2140.
Oh, same as mine. Perfect.
Yeah.
And then which meme would you like this week?
Could I please have... I'll tell you what I'm going to have. I'm going to have 360 no scope 420 blaze it, please.
MLG.
Otherwise known as MLG. Yes.
Where is it? I won't even be able to get that on TradingView.
There you are. There you are. There it is.
Right, so we're going to have to view this one on Dex Screener. Right, so where do you think this bad boy is off to? Apologies if you can hear the bikes in the background.
I think this bad boy is going to go on a run.
On a tear.
On an absolute tear.
Oh, this is the market cap chart. Wait a second, let me go back to the price.
It'll be the same.
That looks...
Because remember, this one doesn't... All the tokens come out at the same time.
Ooh, look at that bad boy.
Let's absolutely go.
So, I am going to go with 3 cents. No, actually, no. 2.5.
That's over 100%. That's over 100%.
Oh, Christ, what have I done? What is his bike doing? Just shut up. I don't know if he's just doing it to annoy me.
We can barely hear it. And when I do the AI sound, it will take it out.
Right, so there's my one, 0.25.
Yeah, I was going to say 2 cents, and I thought I was giving it a big one.
Yeah, not when Financial Navigator's bullish.
I mean, look at that. Look at that chart.
Beautiful,
It's
isn't it?
it's got a $10 million market cap at the moment. It's been much, much higher.
I'm not going to lie, that's a little cup and handle in there.
Is that
It doesn't
bad?
look like much. But, and look, I don't know if you guys can see that. This would be our rounded cup. This would be our handle. There's our breakout. And as you just saw me do, you draw from the top of the cup, which is this line up here, to the bottom. Then you take that to the breakout point. It gives you your target, and that puts it around 2.4.
Right. Is this the easiest double up in the history of weekly
You've got to
trading?
remember, we can't trade it.
What? Why not?
It's not going to be on hyperliquid.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Unless we buy a spot bag.
Boring.
Yeah, very boring.
I'm gonna buy a spot bag of this though as soon as we get off air. 360 no scope, 420 blaze it. The best name of any meme coin ever.
Or
I'm gonna
LLG
say
short.
MLG. Yeah. I'm gonna say $3.
$3?
3 cents. Sorry. I'm gonna say 3 cents.
I'm thinking, Christ.
Oh, I'm gonna say 3 cents. I think we're racing to that other buy box.
I think we probably are.
I think we're racing to that other buy box. I don't know if we make it in 1 week, sorry, but I think we're racing to the other buy box.
Let's see. Right, so I shall now pass over to you, and you can load up the hyperliquid.
Alright, hold on. Hyperliquid is already loaded. Let me just, oops, not do that. Where's Hyperliquid? There you go. There is the little blighter. Right, so, recap on our last week's thing, our last 2 trades. We got tapped out on both of them.
Sorry.
They are the best performing assets of the past 2 weeks, and we predicted that, but our stop loss was too short on both of them, so we got tapped out. We lost a total of $20, which represented around 15%, maybe 16% of our total fund.
What is our portfolio at?
Our portfolio is at $117
We're
at
still
the
in the
moment.
money. That's all that matters.
We're still in the money. We're still up 17%, but I feel like those last 2 tap outs were very unfair. That was some pretty bad luck we got there.
It was unlucky, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And then we didn't get to come on last week because we had the power cut, and I'm quite sure we would have both longed last week and we would have looked real smart this week, but we didn't get to.
Indeed.
But I think this week we should be still, if we stay bullish, I think we should do all right. It's just a question of which 2 do we want to trade.
Right, well, I'm going to take SHIB.
Okay, and I'm going to take Link.
Lovely stuff. Now,
Easy
I
money.
would like my...
Oh, hold on. What's this? K-SHIB. What does that mean?
Yeah, so basically it's without the decimals.
Right,
So
okay.
the normal SHIB has like 4 decimals. This is just without all the decimals, effectively. So
Perfect.
I would like to have my SHIB take profit at 1.9.
So what would I put in then? 0.019.
So around a 10% move, which obviously if we're using 3x should be around 30%.
Yeah, 28,
Yeah.
27%. Do you think that's a bit tight?
No, I think that's okay.
Okay, and stop loss?
It's going to be really wide because I know full well we could definitely come back down. 0.14 or 0.14.
Okay. We shall put in, what should we put in, a quarter?
Yeah.
Let me think. What would that be? $30. Oh. There we go, $30. Place order. 3x long.
That's really bad, by the way. The stop loss is 50% lower and the gain is 30% higher.
I thought the game was a bit tight. I reckon you'll hit that like today,
Yeah,
and then
that's
that'll
what
be
I
that.
want. I just want to get out, get some money, back to the drawing board.
Okay, fair.
Hang on a minute. It
I'm
says
not
my
gonna-
position value is $91.
Yeah,
That's probably 3x. Ignore me.
Yeah, that's all right. That's fine. Next is I'm doing Link, aren't I?
I believe so.
Okay, I'm gonna do my take profit at 21. Oh gosh. Oh, 10x, that's why. So my take profit is going to be at $21, and my stop loss will be at thinking,
Was it 21?
yeah,
Let's have a look.
stop loss.
$21.
14.
I was going to say...
I want to be under that.
I was going to say 15. I think 15 is sensible.
Yeah, but like we've kissed 15 loads.
Yeah,
I don't want to come and then kiss it and then fly off.
Play it safe.
Yeah.
I think that's sensible.
Yeah, 14. There we go.
You know full well this week will be the week that we potentially have that pullback as well. Which I'll be really annoyed because I actually think it'll be next week.
I don't know that we have one. I don't know that we have one this week. I think if anything we might have sideways.
Yeah.
If anything we might have sideways.
Right, let's get that order on. Bosh, we are live.
There we go. And we're in. You're already down 2%.
We're both down. Lovely stuff.
How to go broke in double fast time. Featuring CryptoC and the Financial Navigator.
That wraps up this episode 27. And next week, I know I said it last week, we do have a guest. That is CryptoInsightUK. He is on next week. So be sure to line up any questions you want to ask him. He is most well known for his XRP army. That he's not the XRP army, but he's a big XRP bull and has been for a long time. So that is what he's most well known for. Look at his X. His X handle is, let me just grab it for everyone. Actually, I'll share it on the screen as well. So everyone can go follow him, see what he's about before he comes on the show. Here we go. This is CryptoInsightUK. Be sure to go over to his page, have a look. Obviously quite big on Twitter, 44,500 followers. Speaks with Credible Crypto, some other people. I actually met him in person in Dubai a couple of years back, and met his friend in Bali last time I was actually out here in September. So, but that wraps up this week. So until next week, everyone. Sadly, I'll be back in the UK. Really gutted.
Do you know what? It's lovely here at the moment.
I mean, I FaceTimed my parents last night, and I was like, "You've had better weather than me," and I'm halfway home.
You've been scammed.
Yeah.
You've been rugged.
So,
Bali
until
wouldn't
next
rug you.
time, that is it. Look after yourselves. Enjoy the green. Don't get too caught up in emotions. Just take a step back, chill, and relax. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, adios.
And buy MLG, not financial advice.
24/7, blaze it, 360, no soap.
Laters.
Adios.